Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Kalvish here. If you don't know me, my team Gators Back won the AWC finals on Sunday, and we secured our qualification to BlizzCon on Saturday. The reason I'm making this video is because I feel there's a lot of nuance to every AWC, and I felt in the last finals that I played, the last finals my team won, the last expansion, that there's a lot of smaller things that the casters or the spectators don't know, because obviously you're only seeing a short 3-5 game series or whatever every time there's a team playing. So I'm making the video to explain some of me and my team's thought processes in our series, and I wanted to go over some specific games for those of you that are interested. So to just get right into it, this will all be in like one take probably, by the way, so just throwing that out there if there's any delays here. To talk about the first series on Saturday, so this is the first series we played in the finals versus Cedu's team, Direwolves. Going into the series, we expected some type of rogue mage mirror, but I believe that Cedu's team got influenced by Europe, potentially, to queue Windwalker Monk into us. And the reason I think they did this, even though to a lot of people it was probably pretty obvious that we were going to queue the sub-rogue mage druid in the blind, the reason they locked the Windwalker is because we've played some very convincing games of Outlaw Mage into them, so they probably thought we were gonna blind Outlaw, and they wanted to try to queue the Windwalker Mage to counter the Outlaw because of EU doing it. This was a crazy surprise to us, honestly, and we were very, very happy to see this. You can even see that Trill is on a Gnome Windwalker Monk instead of an Orc versus Sub-Rogue, so they had no idea this was happening, I guess. But we were very excited seeing this. This should be a complete free win matchup here, and we didn't even play it super well, but it's very difficult, especially on the Gnome Windwalker, to even get anything done from their perspective. Before I go over this first game, I think to talk about the Rogue Mage matchup specifically, we felt that sub RMD was a pretty much even matchup at the worst versus any of the Rogue Mages, and the hardest is probably something with the Prez Evoker, obviously. And that's why we lock it in the blind, because we felt the most comfortable on it. And later in the game, I'll explain why I believe that it is potentially winning into an in-theory counter matchup like sub-Prez or sub-RMP, because the Disc Priest is obviously very good in a sub-rogue mirror. It has a lot more trades and instant CC, stuff like that. But to talk about this first game, in the opener, we had open Trill, and you can see this is why I said we definitely made some mistakes this game, because we should expect Sam to mass invis and peel the opener, right? But we get a good opener on Trill here with pre-CC, so I pre-DB Trill, and we blind Cedu. This means Trill can't pre-wall or press anything, basically guaranteed opener on him, and then we're also able to go him in cheap shots because he's a Gnome Windwalker. Obviously, very good opener. The only issue with this opener is we should expect the mass invis, and Cub should be here on the blind to in-cap roar while he's in stealth, so that Cedu can't save him. You see here that Cedu actually releases his stasis, and Trill lives at, any time dilates him, and Trill lives at, 10% health or something. So I actually think if we were there for the roar, we might have killed him in the opener, but it's not a big deal, because first Dragon comps, the first go, you can only really ask to get stasis out of the way anyways. If you don't know, Dragons put up a stasis buff in the gates of the arena. It charges up 3 spells, and they can cancel this buff while in CC on the first go to basically full heal one of their teammates. So for Dragons, that's all you can really ask to get in the opener anyways, but we could have potentially won in the opener here, which would have been crazy. I believe we also went Cedu. I actually did not notice this in the game, that we got communion from Sidu here. I think, I don't remember exactly why he communioned. I think Dazed had blades up and hit him really hard, I guess, and then he also saw the Ray. So I got CS on the Ray, but it doesn't matter much anyways. He kind of felt forced to press it, I guess. So now they have no stasis, no communion. That means their only reaction now is like trinket abilities, and then they overlap their trinkets, and this game is just pretty much over. You can see that I literally had no idea he communioned because I'm telling Daze to bomb the communion here. So if you don't know, you can, as a rogue, you can bomb communion and it doesn't heal the teammate. So we get the kidney sheep on Sidu, and then Trill got pre-CC'd by a Ring of Frost, so he can't press Karma or anything. This is complete checkmate here. Even if he had communion, he's dead because we bombed. But yeah, this is an awful call by me, telling him to bomb. I literally had no idea he had communion. That game doesn't matter too much, though, because should never lose that in a billion years. But this is where it gets a little bit interesting here. So here we lock sub RMD because, like I said, we believe that it can at least go 50-50 into basically any matchup of the mirror. And what we're expecting here is I believe we were expecting Outlaw Disc RMP. But they actually ended up locking sub, and this was a big discussion point for me and my team, was my races and my talent of Shimmer and Blinkstun. And I've even seen a lot of people talking about my decision on this. The way that I see and understand this specific matchup here is you have, obviously, the only difference here is the Druid and the Priest, right? The Priest is a lot better at avoiding CC, other than sheep, obviously, because Druids can't get sheeped, than the Druid is, because the Priest has things like Death and Fade, and Sidu isn't even playing Dome here, but he should probably be Dome in this matchup, and you can Dome and things like that. You have more counterplay. You can't really, like, for example, free sheep a Priest. And this leaves us in a position where there's only really one killable target on their team as well, which is Trill, because Disc Priests are very difficult to kill since they have Angelic Bulwark, which is like a cheat death shield when they get low HP. They have 2 PSs, and they have Focus Will, which makes them take 30% reduced damage from any melee that is on them, and if a melee is hitting them, it'll also reduce caster damage as well if I was hitting him. So that means this matchup, we have one killable player, it's Trill, and they have, in theory, they have 2 killable players between Cubsy and Dazed. This puts us in a really difficult position, and I actually think that the Priest team is probably a little bit favored here. But I think there's something that I do this game that switches up the game a lot, and I think a lot of people have difficulty understanding why I did this. But as you can see, I'm playing Orc, and I'm playing Orc to also play Shimmer. What this means is I cannot blink out of the stuns of the Rogue. So their mage, for example, is an unkillable target because he can blink out of the stuns of my Rogue. But since I am playing Orc and Shimmer, I'm going to sit all the stuns. That technically makes me a killable target. The reason that this is really important and completely changes the game is because of the understanding that I have on how sub-rogue and rogue v rogue works. And it's kind of funny because I'm playing mage, but the reason I'm playing Shimmer isn't actually because of me on mage. It actually makes my game worse and more difficult, but the reason I'm playing it is because of my understanding of the sub-rogue versus sub-rogue matchup specifically. So it actually has nothing to do with me on mage, and it's purely my knowledge on the sub-rogue versus sub-rogue. So in sub-rogue versus sub-rogue matchups, the most difficult position to be in is a position where you have to train a target other than the rogue while you're getting gone on by the enemy rogue. It's very difficult to justify continuously going a target, like for example a Shimmer Mage, with a lot of defensive cooldowns by the way, while you are also the only killable target on your team and the enemy rogue is sitting on you the entire game. So to me, this opens up the matchup a lot for us because it puts us in multiple different positions, right? In my opinion, at most, they can only reliably choose to get pressure on, like, 2 of us at once. If they go Cubsy and Dazed, that leaves me open to spam Sheep Trill with Shimmer, and I can even look for DB Sheep situations on Sea-Doo. For example, we can do, like, we can pre-gouge Trill, I can Shimmer DB Sheep Sea-Doo behind a pillar, and Cubsy and Dazed don't lose their positioning at all, and we get a free go on Trill, assuming the mage has no CS, or we can cover it, or whatever. So that's the first situation. The second situation would be they go me a lot, and maybe they go Cubsy or Dazed, but regardless, to kill a mage, you have to commit a lot onto the mage, because I have Trinket and 2 Ice Blocks and Alter, and my barriers rotate up constantly in this matchup. What would happen in that situation is I am taking a lot of pressure off of Cubsy and Dazed to set themselves up easier. So I'm literally taunting the enemy team to go me so that the other two can do a lot more in the matchup. And it kind of puts them in a very awkward spot where they have to choose to either attack me and let the other two go free, or they can attack Dazed and Cubsy, and then I get to go free with Shimmer, right? And this is all because of how Sub-Rogue works, basically, and how you can't really have that constant pressure with because it's heavily DR based. But the opposing situation to this, so as I said, we only have 1 killable target, and if I'm blink stun, we would have 2 killable targets. The opposing situation to this, if I was blink stun, is they would train my rogue and druid, and they would have a lot more frequent goes on us, and because I'm blink stun, right? So the priest can never get CC'd by me if I'm blink stun, basically, unless Daze is able to play or whatever, and he can double stun for me, or obviously there's situations, but on paper it's a lot more difficult for me to CC the priest if I'm blink stun, and it puts us in a situation that is actually, I guess it takes us out of a situation that is just straight up losing, is basically what I'm saying. It is straight up losing for both mages to be left open, and for the enemy rogue to be able to bounce between the druid and the rogue, while we can only attack him. It's straight up a losing situation. In my opinion, I think it's probably still slightly more favored for the enemy team if I'm Shimmer, but I do think it is better than the position we're in before, and it's 100% winnable if they're attacking me. I don't even play this game the greatest. I think I should probably save my Trinket defensively a lot more, to be honest, for the stuns. But I do think putting our team in this position is really good and gives us a lot of pressure, for sure. I don't know if there's much to watch from this game, or anything I would like to point out. But I think the big thing to me is understanding the difference of their commitment, right? If they're splitting all 3 of us, this is pressure that we can deal with pretty well, because I have a lot of cooldowns, and these guys do not. As opposed to them putting all of their pressure on these two, and we're constantly getting ran over with goes, and it's very difficult to fight back. Here I get a ring because I'm playing Shimmer. I Trinket here. Like, this Trinket was probably bad from me. I should probably sit on it. But the situation is obviously just very awkward for Trill to play, because he's getting trained and has pressure, and can you, in a game that can be so short, especially on hook point, can you really justify going an Orc Mage with 2 Ice Blocks? Can you really justify that, you know? You're fighting Druid Rogue on hook point, and you're going to train the mage with 2 blocks. To me, the game should always end before they get my blocks. If my team plays well, I think it should basically always end before they get my blocks. Here, Sam does a really good Trinket CS on Cubsy, but I believe we get a Trinket anyways. No, we get Cloak Evasion from Trill, but that was really good by Sam to stop the clone. Here they go Daze, they bomb me. This is why I felt like I shouldn't have Trinketed, but they get a block here, it's completely fine. They use bomb for this, so in the moment, we were all completely fine with this. To me, it doesn't really matter, honestly.
And I am so surprised Trill didn't end up having to need to Trinket there. Using that Cloak and Evasion
I should have been able to get the CC there. That was a mistake by me.
The DRs are definitely up. Now Kalvish getting swapped to again by Trill. The cheap shot follow-up. Cubsy caught into the blind. If there's anything to follow this up on the Cubsy, this could very easily be maybe another ice block or even taking him down. No. Kalvish is going to be okay. A triple fear from Sea-Doo to set up his team.
So obviously, it's very difficult for me to play with Shimmer if they're attacking me, but it enables my team really hard, and that's the big reason of why I'm playing it. Even though, specifically as Mage, it's technically not better. Here we actually get a really nice go. I remember calming this. This was a mistake by our team, I guess. So I kick Sea-Doo on Shadow, and I cast the Sheep on him. He cannot fade or death the Sheep, so Sam has to CS my Sheep cast. Now what happens is Sea-Doo gets roared into Clone, but Cubsy believes that Sam has CS, so he cancels the Clone. He didn't actually have to here. I remember saying in the moment, I told him to Clone. I was spam saying no CS, no CS, but he cancels it, which is a bit unfortunate. So this go could have been a lot better, but we do still end up getting advantage, so it's fine. Again, they're going me, just completely fine with this. I'm an Orc Mage. I want them to attack me because I understand how hard it enables Dazed. I completely understand because I'm a sub-rogue, you know? Like, I know what it's like being in Dazed position, and I understand how much it opens up the game by playing Shimmer for him.
Is really going to end up costing them. Big Ray of Frost is being channeled right now. Samayam having a field day in this.
Here we did an NS clone go, and we somehow didn't get a trinket until here. We cheap shot, and then he trinkets. Because he has to since Trill has nothing. So here, I don't think this game is played very well by both teams, honestly. But if we look at the game state, my Druid and Rogue have nothing, and I have a block and a trinket, so they obviously can't go me, right? Here, we actually... I don't even know what happened here. I think this ring breaks. I don't really know what broke it, but this was, like, very bad. So this was insane by me. I think there's, like, a reason I did this. I think... I just need to watch it to remember. Yeah, so... This is really insane by me. I believe Sea-Doo had no Dispel, and he has no Fade here. So I double ring both of them behind the pillar. The only out he has to this ring is to ulti pen it or to death the ring, right? But he can't death because I know there's nothing in line of him to death. So I double ring both of them here, which is obviously really good because it pre-CCs the rogue and it puts the healer in CC. But this fear, or the ring just breaks and he fears both of us. I don't even know how that happened, but it turns what should have been a crazy go into, like, a really bad go, honestly. Because I ended up trinketing here.
It looks like they weren't actually able to go, but now Kalvish caught into the full kidney shot, no blink available, into the follow-up cheap
So they go me again here, and then I believe they bomb Dazed after this.
Not catching any unnecessary CC, just max ranging for now, playing it very safe, so much on the line.
But regardless, I think my point is kind of gone across here. So I'm going to kind of skip to the end unless I remember something. Oh, this was funny. This is like the only time I was actually scared. I aggro blocked and we got double feared, and I literally thought I was going to immediately die after aggro blocking here. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm on hypo. That would have been very awkward if I had died there. There's a cool play I did at the end here that I just remembered. So if you Ice Lance, it pops Shatters, and Shatters will break CC. You can see on Trill here, I have 11 stacks of Shatter here at the very bottom. The only thing that won't break CC, for sure, is Flurry. So what I do here is, I Flurry, you can see me Flurry Trill, if I go back. Ring Sea-Doo, I Flurry Trill right here, and then I throw my orb to the side because it gives me a Brain Freeze proc, and then instead of lancing and potentially breaking the CC, I Flurry again, and he dies in it. So, that was a pretty nice play by me. This game, I was not Shimmer, actually. In hindsight, I think I should have been Shimmer, for sure. But The game should not have been this one-sided regardless. There was a lot of mistakes from my team here. I think in general we were too scared and we used DRs defensively a lot when you definitely have to fight back into a team comp like this. I think this game there is not much to say really. I think this is a very favorable matchup for the Outlaw Rogue into the sub-Prez. It's very hard for the Rogue to get anything done. I kind of wonder how it would look if Sam was playing Shimmer maybe, and they kind of tried to run at us, but with the way the matchup is, it feels very good for the Outlaw disc. So there's not much to say here. We lost the game, and then we counterpicked their sub-rogue with our counter. So, to go to the next series, we played 2 series versus Feral Ellie, and there was a lot to go into the series, to be honest. I'll open my Warcraft recorder. We wargamed these guys a lot. You can see here, we have 80 games played versus them. Some of these are tournament games too, but obviously majority of them are going to be war games. So this matchup, me and my team feel very confident in understanding. The general game plan, and Shimmer is also very, very good here, by the way. Not because of the Rogue. It actually has nothing to do with the Rogue. It kind of has more so to do with the Druid. The main point of Shimmer is still the same type of premise. I want to take pressure off of my Druid. If they go my Druid, for example, the way the game should be played is Cubsy should be roar cloning the Feral. I DB Sheep or Free Sheep the healer because it's a Mistweaver and he cannot do much about it. And Dazed will either gouge the Ellie while I'm sheeping and while Cub is cloning, or he'll just Kenny him and will go the Ellie with that CC. That is what should be happening if they are going Cubsy. And the only way this can happen is if I'm Shimmer. I know this because I played literally 80 games of this leading up to the tournament. And it feels a lot worse, honestly, playing Blink Stun, to me, at least, with the Druid. So that's kind of the game plan here. If they go Cubsy, we need to get Cubsy to CC the Feral. Aside from that, we're doing, like, NS clones on the healer, and then kinning the Ellie, and then I'm orbing in that time, because orb can break CC if it's not with NS clone. What else is there to know? If they don't go Cubsy and they sit on the pillar, which is actually their best strat in my opinion, that means they get to go me a lot more, right? Which is takes advantage of me being Shimmer, and they get to try to kill me in Maims. If they play that way, then the best strategy for us is to adapt quickly and to basically attack what's closest and try to set up as many clones on the Ellie as possible. Like, for example, if the Feral is sitting on me and maiming me, that means Dazed and Cubsy can gouge clone the Ellie over and over, or Kenny clone the Ellie over and over, right? And the Feral can't stop it. So the main idea of this matchup is that we need to adapt very quickly and adjust our CC. And the reason I have this game in specific pulled up is because I think we lost this game because they were going Cubsy and we did not adapt quick enough. I'm like almost certain we lost this game. And it like wasn't close either. Obviously a very hard map. This map, Sewers, very difficult because I'm Shimmer, right? And it's hard to blink around the corners and CC the Monk. I guess the game was decently close, but I believe we still could have adapted better. In the second game, the Empyrean game, this is our map pick. It's a good map for us, and it's a bigger map, and this game really shows what I'm talking about here, and why Shimmer is good, from what I remember. So, right here, for example, Dazed is going back to hit the Feral, when we should just hit the Ellie, because I can reliably get CC, right? And this happens multiple times throughout the game. I don't know how many times I'll be able to find it as I'm skimming through the VOD here, but basically what we were doing this game that we recognized after and adjusted for the finals is Dallas is overextending a lot to go Cubsy because that's how they won the last game. That's how they want to play. And we need to punish it by basically allowing Dallas to 1v1 Cubsy while taking advantage of me being Shimmer to 2v2 the Ellie. So, like what I said earlier, we basically want Cubsy to CC the Feral when he can, if the Feral is on him, and then me and Daze just focus on CCing these two. And this actually causes us to be able to win really, really fast if they try to play this way and go the Druid. And that's why I don't think it's very good for them to do that, and that's also why I said I think their best strategy is to sit on the pillar and just try to damp us out, to be honest. I'll try to find another situation of where we go hit the Feral when we should just be on the Monk, but I don't know if I will be able to find one. Maybe here?
But F-tier have a lot of options as long as they don't choke. He's Barks getting to go for the win. F-tier are so close to doing it. They need to cleave Daze at the same time, though, while they're doing this. Otherwise, Cubsy's hots are going to be too...
Yeah, so here I'm getting CC on Meat Monk. We have Kidney in a few seconds. We should just Kidney the Ellie, Incap, clone the Feral. I resheep the Healer because the Ellie is CC'd, right? And Cub guaranteed gets the clone on the Feral because the Ellie is CC'd. We can see what else we got here. It's a bit hard to see. This game was really, really close. Like, really close. And we recognized... Also, you can see right here, I actually remember this. This is a lot of what made me realize in the moment. So watch this right here. So we kidney Saul, and then Dallas goes to attack Cubsy here, right? And Dazed follows Dallas, and then watch what happens to the game, right? I get incapped by Meep, and now the game is progressing this way, and I'm literally stuck over here. Like, I literally can't do anything. And if I use a Shimmer to sheep Saul, but I should never have to do this, right? This is like, I barely get the sheep and help him. What we should do here is we should probably just let Cub CC the Feral as he gets on top of him, and maybe we have a Gouge or something to CC the Ellie, or I can DB him, or I could sheep the Ellie to get Sheer, and then we CC the Healer, and we CC the Ellie, and then once the CC RDRs are all out, maybe then we can start attacking the Feral, but the game state is very, very awkward if we don't allow Cub to CC the Feral as much as he can. I think that's all to note for the series and the matchup, basically. I don't know how much there is to say, really, from the finals. I can skim through real quick and say. Nagrand actually does show a bit of what I'm talking about with the, how fast we're able to win. So, this game, I believe they went... This is the series we realized how different we have to play and how we have to adapt when it comes to either Gouge cloning the Ellie and then attacking the Feral because the Feral's attacking me, or Cub getting the Feral and then we attack the Ellie and let Cub CC the Feral if they're attacking Cub in the moment. It's like a constant adaptation that needs to happen from us on who to CC and who to be attacking. This game, we win relatively quickly. We win in 5 minutes, and this is because that, it's because I'm Shimmer. He also DC'd for like 90 seconds here, but Shimmer is just so insane at if they try to force going Cubsy, we should just win the 2v2. Remember what I said? Me and Daze 2v2, the Ellie and the Mistweaver. It should be really easy for us to get CC and just win the 2v2 is kind of the point I was trying to get across. And if you watch back the games in the series, you'll see the difference in how we play the first series and the final series, which is this one right here. In terms of any other notable games, I think Saul lives at like 1% here. This was crazy. His burrow just came up, and he burrowed at 5%. Oh, I do remember this game. We lost this game because of a very unfortunate situation where I will show you guys what happens here. So I block aggressively and die while I have a block on 15-second cooldown. But I honestly don't blame myself at all. We should have just been talking about the go a little bit earlier. You guys will see what happens. So the go here, what happens here is we incap clone Feral, we kidney the Ellie, and I DB sheep the Healer, and we kill the Ellie in the stun because he has defensives, he has burrow and stuff, right? To me, this is the only way we can win, and I called it in the moment, but it needed to be talked about like 5 seconds sooner. And I think we might have actually won, but what happens is I even hesitate on my aggro block, or we might have won. But to show you guys what happens, Gouge on Saul before our CC lands to give us the maximum amount of time in the stun. I have to DB over the clone cast on the Feral, or the monk doesn't get CC'd and I can't get the sheep on him. So the feral is half cloned currently. I get the sheep on Meep right here, and then I Ray, but the feral is half cloned because my DB DR'd it, and he roars the Ray, and Saul lives to go, and then we immediately die after. I don't really regret aggro blocking here. I think I would just regret not talking about it sooner, because we definitely should have been talking about it sooner. I kind of think we're a bit cooked anyways, even if I don't block here. And I have one because both my teammates have nothing. So I don't really regret the block in itself. I think it's a good attempt to try and win, but yeah, just a bit unfortunate we didn't talk about it earlier. I remember this game still being pretty good though. This was insane by me. Like, this was just an insane thing to happen to me. Like, I literally, this is the replay. I just get completely one shot here. This was so cooked. I get sheared on Ray. Oh, that's also why Shimmer's really good in this matchup, because I can blink with my Ray, and the Shaman can't stop it, because we don't always have reliable CC. I can also blink the Feral to get a sheep, or to Ray. That's also why Shimmer's really insane. Yeah, I just died 70-0. Pretty cool game. I think this comp is so underrated, to be honest. I think it's very, very strong. I don't think anything was really said here. I think we just moved on pretty fast. This game was insane by us. This game was really, really insane. Our goes were excellent. I think I played the worst on my team this game. I think Cub played absolutely insane this game. I'm just going to showcase this last go. So this last go, Cub NS clones Meat Monk. We go Saul. I Ray and get a few ticks of the Ray, but I get kicked by the Feral. Cub maims the Feral with no trinket. I get sheared on sheep. Cub rake stuns me. And then I miss my ring, and he dies anyways. And what's funny is I was telling Cub to Typhoon Meep into the ring over and over in case the guy lived. I guess they were dead here anyways, but I played this go terrible. Oh no, I remember what happened actually. Oh my god. What happens here is I Ray, and I have 2 shimmers here actually. I blink his kick here. Can I show it? I wonder if I can show it. Okay, check this out. I have 2 shimmers here. I blink once to blink his kick. Blink once, and then I blink again right here, and it doesn't take me anywhere. It literally takes me nowhere, and I stand still. If he lived because of this, it would have been very frustrating. My blink just literally didn't take me anywhere, but, I mean, in theory, that shows why the Shimmer is so insane, right? Like, this should be a full Ray. This guy should have died 5 seconds ago. Anyways, this game was very nice from us. Cub played insane on this last go. He CC'd 10 different people. This game was whatever from us. I think I pulled back at a really nice time, and it kind of forced them to walk into the room, and it was good for us. This game, we literally won because I'm playing Shimmer. I'll go ahead and show it real quick. This game was insanely close, though. So, I think it's a lot longer than this, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so what happens here is we do a go on Dallas. I Ray, and then I blink away from wind shear. So watch what happens here. Meat Monk is kidneyed, going Dallas. I barrier my slow off. I'm moving to the side to get ready to Shimmer. I Ray, and then I blink backwards back here and Shimmer. And I'm behind the pillar here. Saul can't actually shear me. He jumps diagonally to shear me, right? And he falls down here. And then I'm kicked. He has no ground. He has no shear, but I'm kicked on Frost. So I immediately sheep him down here. And then I say to Daze to come kill Saul, because Saul actually has nothing. Like, technically, he didn't have to shear the Ray because Dallas is every cooldown, but it is a very awkward position for him. And we pull a crazy win here, and Dazed even almost dies, but we get the dub here anyways. And I think we were literally dead. Yeah, we were 100% dead here because we almost got 2v2'd. But that was a nice play to win the finals from us for sure. Anyways, though, thank you guys for watching. Probably be streaming more leading up to BlizzCon. I think last finals, I might have said this earlier, but I think last finals, I regret not doing something like this, like making a video explaining the AWC and our strategies. And I don't think this AWC was that crazy or nuanced or whatever, but I still think it can be kind of cool to put it down on record what we were thinking and what our strategies and our plans were for the finals. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Check out my stream. Join the Discord. I'm a lot more available for coaching if anyone is interested. So hit me up there. But yeah, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.